Welcome back to round 18 of Ausamerican Aces NRL. It is a huge week in Origin with both teams named going into Game 3. We also have an amazing opportunity for you to win 2 tickets to the sold-out Game 3 in Sydney. All you have to do is hit our socials, tell us one of your greatest State of Origin moments, and to help us give us some of their greatest State of Origin moments, we've got 2 legends from the NRL stage themselves. Brent Tate joins us from Queensland, Aaron Woods here in the studio, and the great Ash Wicks, who has been to many Origins.
Have you given away my tickets?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, God.
Sorry,
You're
mate.
the weasel. You'll get more.
You'll get in somehow, bro.
You'll get more.
Figure it out. I'll probably play.
Trainer?
Yeah, or maybe.
Oh, yeah.
At this rate, Billy might pick me.
Oh, wow. Come on.
Well, we're not doing pick and stick anymore, are we, Tatey?
Oh.
Well, we definitely know he's not picking Woodsy, that's for sure.
They need a couple of grubs up there. I'm part of that.
Yeah.
Tatey, you've sent your weather down here to us in Sydney. It's been tropical cyclone central, or I guess winter cyclone central. How are you doing up there? How are you faring? And are you excited for the not so pick and stick side going into Game 3?
Oh, subtle barb there, guards. I am excited about it. I really like the team Billy's picked. I reckon it's probably the best balanced team that he's picked out of the 3 games. So I'm really, really excited about it, actually. I'm feeling as good as I've ever felt going into this game. So, yeah, happy.
I'll tell you what, Tatey, one bloke as a New South Welshman, glad I'm not playing and don't have to tackle him, which is Josh Popperlee. I was really hoping he was actually going to get picked for Game 1 because I'm a huge fan, and no surprise why Canberra at the top of the ladder. Was this a big shock to you knowing that he was brought back in for the decider?
I guess, yeah, a little bit. But I love the fact that Billy's done it, mate. I mean, I know if I was a player and I was in the group having Big Papa come back in and his presence and what he brings, mate, I'd be that excited. And I'd be, I wouldn't want to let him down because he is that, he has got a bit of a presence when he walks into the room, Big Pup. So not a huge surprise, mate. I think the last couple of years after we've lost Fleggy, Thomas Flegler for an extended period, we've really missed another big presence up front. Big Papa fills that role. I think it's a bit of a masterstroke from Billy. We're really going to have to draw on all of our experience and, that Queenslander spirit that we've got to get a job done against a good New South Wales side. So, mate, I love the fact that he's picked him. I think it'll inspire the boys. I really do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching him running around out there, actually. I think he's having a good year, and I like watching him play, so I'm not upset about it. What about Kalen Ponga? Injury, and we've got Reece Walsh named in the extended squad. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no doubt it was a tough decision for Billy, which way he went, either Hammer or Reece. They played 2 totally different games. I like the fact that he has gone with Hammer. I think Reece is obviously playing great footy since he's come back, but he still looks a little underdone for me. The other thing I reckon New South Wales would have done with Reece is they would have went right after him. I absolutely have no doubt about that. So I like the fact that he's picked Hammer because Origin's about moments, and one thing Hammer does bring in these big games is if there's an offload or there's a try to be scored, he's going to score it. He's just an absolute out-and-out try scorer. So, he can sniff out opportunities that most players don't. And we're not going to get many because it is Origin. So I like the fact that he'll pop up somewhere through the middle and potentially score a try for Queensland. So no doubt a big decision that Billy had to make because I know he loves Reece, but I'm pretty comfortable with the Hammer at fullback.
What about the debutant who joins the side as well too? He's come over after 3 years in the Japanese rugby union system. He was a train and trial at the start of this year in Shibasaki.
I absolutely love this story. It should be told to every young kid, every middle-aged, I guess, footy player being 100%. In their 20s that haven't made it yet, that the fact that if you've got potential, you're willing to work hard and not give up, there's an opportunity like this. And he's a really good young fella, Gamet. I'm so happy for him. He deserves his spot, and he's got a big job to do. I mean, he's on debut in Sydney in front of a packed-out crowd. It's a huge job against, probably Latrell Mitchell. So, but what a story. Again, he's gotten better and better each week. I've sort of been watching him closely at the Bronx, and, one thing Gamet's always done is he's played a couple of good games and then falls off a cliff a little bit, and that's why he's probably bounced in and out of first grade. But mate, he's gotten better each week. He looks big, he looks strong, he's carrying the ball well, and he looks confident. So, yeah, really happy with that selection, and I think he'll rise to the occasion. I really do.
Mate, he looks fit as. You look at probably 12 months ago, he just didn't really fill his shirt out. But now, whatever Madge is doing up there, geez, he fills that shirt out beautifully. On Shibasaki and To'o, Tate, you're a centre yourself, and you know how hard it is. Laurie's been very vocal. New South Wales need to get the centres some early ball or ball and good opportunities. How do Queensland shut both those blokes down?
Oh, mate, we've got to win the field position battle and try and take it out. Try and, I guess, limit their opportunities. Because, mate, but if Latrell and Critter have a night day out, mate, I mean they are great players, and once they get going and get confident, and they get a couple of early touches in good positions, mate, they're nearly impossible to stop. So, again, mate, we go back to that. Origins are always one in the middle of the park, and I guess that's why Billy's brought back Big Papa to, strengthen that up for Queensland. And, in the first two games, mate, when I look at both forward packs, I've been a bit nervous, but now that, he's brought Papa back, it does give me a fair bit of confidence. And I can only imagine the confidence it's going to give that Queensland forward pack to, look across and see Big Papa there. Mate, I think probably out of the three games, we could really match you guys up front. So, mate, it's going to be one there, and that's how we limit the opportunities of those outside backs. But easier said than done, right?
Tatey, they talk about the speed of Origin and how much it intensifies during these games. You're going into decider as well. That's going to up the ante as well. Is there any question marks over Papa, whether he's going to be able to handle that kind of speed? He's been out of the game since 23.
I don't think so. They're on top of the ladder. He's playing good footy. He's in good form. He's experienced. And the other thing is we're not going to need him to play big minutes because we've got guys there that can go for a long time. Like Tino can play big minutes. Paddy Carrigan can play big minutes. Lindsay Collins can punch out good minutes. So we don't need him to play big minutes. We just need him for impact. So it'll be interesting to see what Billy does, whether he starts him or brings him off the bench. I get the feeling he'll start him. But, yeah, mate, he's got too much experience to not handle the pace of Origin. I'm actually really excited about it. I've got goosebumps thinking about him coming back. Like it's bloody, like, I just know if I'm a player and I'm in that group, especially guys like Tino who will look up to him, mate, it's going to inspire them. 100%. It's a great rein that Billy's pulled here, I think.
Big one that came out of the last game or last two games is the refereeing. What do you expect next week?
Oh, I thought the refereeing was perfect game two, mate, to be honest.
Of course you did.
See a bit more of the same.
Of course you did. He's on the payroll, isn't he?
Look, mate, there's so much being made of it. What I do, I get the feeling that this game, both teams are going to bring their best. I think, game one, New South Wales brought their best. Game two, Queensland brought their, a good game of a half footy. Then New South Wales came back. What I think we'll see in this game is I think we'll see an intensity from both sides that will go at it for 80 minutes. Again, we've got a big crowd as well. It's sold out. There's a lot riding on the line on this. So, mate, I'm expecting a huge crowd. And, look, no doubt Queensland won't get any favours from the referee being down in New South Wales, so we'll be up against it. Underdogs, as always, I'd reckon.
We just want to see the ref take the pee out of the whistle, Tay. Let the boys or let the men just go at it. Mate, decider. So we spoke about game two. Queensland were just more desperate. You go into a game when you're already one up in the series. It's not that you sort of go into a game and know that you got that backdrop, but it's just that feeling of knowing that you're a little bit safe. Game three, 1-1, we're going decider. Like, what makes the decider so different, Tatey, especially for a Queensland point of view, coming down to Sydney and taking on New South Wales at Accor?
Mate, I'll never ever forget 1 year we hadn't won in Sydney for a long time, a decider in Sydney. I remember we trained there on a Tuesday, and it was when Mel had just sort of taken over, and he went and got us all to go and sit up in the grandstand. And, mate, I get goosebumps thinking about it. We sat in the grandstand, and I remember Mel basically standing up in front of the group looking at the field, and he said, "Look, tell me why we can't win here. Like, it's the same field as anywhere else. It's got two goalposts at either end. It's got grass out in the middle. He goes, why can't we win here?" And mate, it was a moment where we all sort of sat back and thought, you know what, this place isn't going to intimidate us anymore. And it didn't. We went on and won a few series deciders in Sydney. So, mate, no doubt both teams are going to bring their absolute best to this game. Queensland that can't be intimidated by having 86,000 fans there. They've got to thrive on the fact that we're up against it. That's what our history is, and that's what our DNA is meant to be. So we've just got to thrive off that, mate. And series deciders, mate, there's no tomorrow. There's no going back. So as I said before, I think both teams will bring their best 80 minutes of footy, and I reckon we're going to see I get the feeling we're going to see a classic coming up, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it. Well, we'll dive more into the Queensland side with you next Monday when we catch up with you again. But let's jump into the other side, the NRL competition at the moment. I didn't send you this as a note, but obviously it's in the headlines at the moment. The new Australian coach that's coming in, Freddie, has said no, that he doesn't want the title. But Cam Smith is the one who's now put his hand up and said he's waiting for the phone call. How do you think he'd go jumping from that? Well, I guess he was helping assist with the Queensland side and now wants to take the reins in the Australian and the Kangaroos.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I love the fact that he wants to do it, guards. You know what? Being in the Australian side, it's not so much about coaching. It's about creating an environment for the players to want to be in and enjoy that time away with each other. And usually you're away from family and that sort of stuff. So it is all about creating a culture and environment where everyone just buys in and has a great time and works hard. So I think he'd be perfect for the role. I'd love to see him do it. I think he'd thrive in it. Obviously, he's one of the most capped Kangaroos we've got, and he's done it for a long time. So, yeah, with good guys around him, which I know Smithy would bring into the camp. Mate, I love it. I think it'd be perfect fit, to be honest.
You just got that look in your eye again. You got excited when we spoke
goosebumps.
about Papa before, and he's just done it again.
He's got goosebumps.
I know. Well, it's just this, it's our Queensland spirit we always talk about, guys.
That's green and gold, that one, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
You're actually right, Woodsy. That's true. That's true.
Just on that spirit, good weekend for the Queensland teams. I think, 3 of the 4 got across the line, which is... I mean, the Titans are... Would you put them probably...
They're more the tweed heads.
Yeah, they're more of a tweed heads team. But, I mean, what stood out for you over the weekend? The Cowboys got a win, which is nice.
They did, mate. Desperate win. It wasn't the greatest game to watch. I must admit, it was a bit of a stinker, that one.
Still wasn't the worst of the weekend.
Yeah, mate. They got the job done, which they needed to. Again, just to be climbing up that ladder and the position they're in. Wins are all important. So, mate, the thing that stood out, the Dolphins far out. Mate, how good are they going? I mean, this is a club too. You got to remember that. Wayne Bennett left. Traditionally, most clubs really struggle after he goes. They've completely bucked the trend. Mate, they got 7 injuries to key first graders that are rep players and guys that would start at any club in the NRL. So they've got a huge injury toll, but mate, they just continue to march on. So I love watching them at the moment. I love watching Katoa. Like I don't even, as I said, I think he'd put all 4 of us through a gap. He's that good at ball playing. So, incredible, mate. Loving watching the Dolphins at the moment. So, and mate, also the Bronx, they've turned a bit of a corner as well, 3 on the trot now. So, Reece Walsh is inspiring that crew.
Yeah.
I was just going to... Well, no, do you want to stay on Broncos? Because there was a question I was going to ask from there.
Yeah. No, you go Broncos.
Okay. Sorry, we're just fighting for the mic here. We spoke about him last week. Where was he going to end up? Cowboys obviously got knocked on the head for having him, but Selwyn Cobbo's actually now come out and made his decision. 1, he's starting for the Broncos this week, but 2, he's made the decision to head to the Dolphins next year.
Yeah, great signing from the Dolphs. I think Wolfie will certainly bring out the best to Selwyn. I think he's, going to the Dolphins will be a really good fit for him. He gets to stay close to home, I guess. And I do think Wolfie will certainly, bond with him and get the best out of him. Be interesting to see how he plays for the rest of the year for Brisbane, because we know he's a quality player, right? So it'd be interesting to see if he comes out with a real point to prove this week. Because if he does play well, he's got to be in the starting side for Brisbane because he's one of their best players. So, it'll be a bit of a must-watch this week to see if he, we'll see what he brings for the Bronx.
I'm hearing it's only a 1-year deal, isn't it? So do you think that sort of opens him up for the Perth Bears side?
Not a bad shout. Or PNG.
Yeah, mate, it does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But again, he is a kid that likes to be close to home. You couldn't get any
That's what I
further
thought,
from
yeah.
home. So moving over to Perth, but
Could be the worst thing for him.
maybe too, mate. It's a 1 year deal for him to back himself.
Yep.
Get himself fit physically, mentally, have a huge year. And, if he plays well, he's going to get a big payday, that's for sure. So, maybe that's a play as well.
Is it a scary thought to think you've just made the comment that he doesn't like being too far from home? The lure of a pretty decent paycheck to go over as a marquee player for the Bears. That's a danger to the club for one, because we know he sort of doesn't want to settle away from home.
Yeah.
But do they roll the dice and go, maybe this is the year that he can take the dive? Or
I definitely think they've got to roll the dice, Perth. I mean, it's going to be a big challenge for them to get players over there and recruit. So if they can, get a big name like Selwyn, I've got no doubt that he'll play well next year, no doubt. He'll be hungry. It is a 1 year deal. And when you've got a 1 year deal, traditionally players will go out and play hungry because they're after the payday. So, I think Perth will 100% sign him. He would be a marquee signing for him. So there's risks in every deal, I guess, but it might be an opportunity for someone to leave home and also grow into, becoming a man. And not that he's not a man, but, to grow into the person that he might want to be. So, there's plenty of ways to look at it.
What about you two coming out of retirement for the Perth Bears if they're really struggling?
They're not going that
They're
bad,
not,
mate.
they're not that desperate, mate.
Not yet. Not yet.
mate,
yes.
we've seen the twinkle in your eye twice in this show. You look like you'd run through a brick wall if we got the right Queensland spirit in you.
Let's not get mixed up with a glint in the eyes and my capabilities.
Get the neck brace back out. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
How fit Stady looking? He's still
Oh,
flying.
look, yeah. You look,
It's all that painting you're doing at home.
like
mate.
you said, if they signed Katoa, we could all go.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's true. I'd probably have a run outside of him.
Yeah.
He
sure.
is, mate. He is a freak, that kid.
All right. Well, we've still got a few days to go before Origin takes part next Wednesday night, a sold-out stadium at Accor Stadium in Sydney. Tatey, we will chat to you next Monday when we're down to the last final wire.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't it funny? I was just thinking about that. Like game one, we're all thinking, Origin's a bit bland, has the shine or the gloss going off it. And it's a sellout, which we probably haven't had in Sydney for a long time. Mate, it's just Origin continues to just amaze us, give us storylines and have, I guess, next Wednesday, 86,000 there or whatever it's going to be, it'll be off tap. It'll be awesome.
Hey, Tatey, it is a sellout, and they were obviously struggling for seats as to where they put people in certain commentary boxes. Have you heard where our mate Woodsy's sitting?
Oh, I have heard. This is going to get a bit awkward. How you feeling, Woodsy? You be right, mate? Or
I might have to take a couple extra security guards with me.
Mate, you might, mate. You'll have to.
Reporting for duty. I think it's a great move. Whoever decided to do that,
It'll be good fun.
give him a promotion.
We'll find out on Wednesday night who's living rent-free in which location.
Yes, we will.
What about that, Woodsy? You just for everyone at home who haven't already read all the papers and headlines, you are in the commentary box right next to Billy Slater.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. So Triple M on those big occasions, grand finals and Origins, you get those boxes that are like right, basically we're next door. Like if I go douche, they'll be able to hear me.
I hope you
on
do
that
a few
window.
times. I hope you do a few times. You should learn sign language, I think.
Yeah,
That's what you should do. And just how to spell a particular word and see if it really sets him off.
Any words in particular?
Just grub.
Come on now. We don't want to go that far.
Come on now, let's
Come on,
move on.
we've
Let's move on.
matured.
Yeah.
We've matured since then.
Some have.
There's
Some
been growth,
have.
yeah.
Not me. I'm sticking with it.
Well, speaking about sticking with it, Daly has stuck with it with his side. Are you liking it? You loving it? There's a few injury clouds over a couple of players.
10 points for that segue, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, well done.
That was good stuff.
Outstanding. Look, honestly, I didn't think there'd be much of a change. You probably only look at the side. Maybe is it Keon Kolomatangi comes in for Big Stefano. Other than that, the side basically picked itself. Yes, we know Cleary had the groin issue. He tweaked it, I think, kicking before game 2. But he come out and played that Penrith game against the Bulldogs, and that was a high standard, fast, free-flowing game. And any doubts you had there, look, he might not kick goals. Zach Lomax has come out and said he wants the D. He wants to make up for what happened game 2. I think To'o's under an injury cloud, but mate, To'o just gets the job done.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Jeez, he's been having fun in the media with it though.
He loves
hasn't
it.
he?
He
He's
loves
so
it.
Mate,
good.
he's just a good bloke,
But
funny
also
kid.
bringing Karaz in, I'm excited for him.
That's what I'm saying, mate. You can talk about a bloke that's got a great reward for how hard you've worked. Like,
Yeah.
he's had a bit of a journey. He was at the Cowboys, went to Newcastle, come back on a training trial at the Dogs, and Cameron Serrato's been the best thing for him. Like, he's been so good. And like I said, if To'o goes down, then you've got Karaz to come in. So other than that, I think we're pretty much, you know what
Sorted.
you're going to get from the side. Discipline. That's all it is. They've got to fix their discipline up. Discipline and where they turn the ball over.
And what about Trell? Like we spoke about them wanting to sort of quieten him down, I guess, in the first two games.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the Trell that we all want and love and like huge,
Well, we haven't
huge
given
He
him-
hasn't been ordinary, but he's just
Not enough ball.
We haven't
Yeah.
given him opportunities. And
So how do
same
we
for
change
Stephen
that?
Crichton as well. You know, we need to get them ways to bring them into the game a bit earlier. Like those conditions in game 2 was very hard. It wasn't really one of those games where you want to shift. It was
wet.
The weather was just shocking. Maybe just look to it because we've been sort of using him as a battering ram, a bit coming on our own end. That's not Latrell's game. Latrell's game's down the other end. You know, gets on the outside of whether it's Rob Toya or Shibasaki, creates that extra number. Has got the flick pass, got a grubber. You know, he can do things other players can't do.
Also, his defensive plays. That's you look back at the highlights reel of Latrell, and his defense is just as good as
bro.
it's so
Like,
strong.
You don't
He's-
understand. He gets a hold of you, man.
Yeah, it's like trying to fight a bear. It's crazy, but also he gets that look in his eye where it's like, I'm throwing you into the first row of the stands.
I also think he will be really disappointed in that game too. I think it was the first try where they set Hammer up. He just come in a little bit on the lead runner on the back row, which I think it was Cotter.
Yep.
And just got caught just a little bit, and Toya got on the outside. And you know what Latrell's like? He hates anyone getting the better of him.
Yeah.
So I reckon this is going to be. I know we talk about Crichton, big game player, but I reckon this game, this is going to be Latrell. He's going to come out there. He's going to try get some early ball. I think he's going to try bully this young kid on the footy field.
Yeah, we want to stay on the field. Stay on the field. I mean, you've been in plenty of deciders yourself. Coming into this game, we saw two different teams from game 1 to 2 with New South Wales. Game 1 was as if they'd played together their whole life. It was fast-paced. It was insanely good, quick ball. And then game 2, obviously weather conditions, yes, but completely different team.
Yeah.
What is Laurie doing to settle their nerves, to get them up for this game? I mean, we hear Billy saying it's the same grass with 2 poles at the end. What's Laurie saying to those
Well, I still
guys?
think we were clunky game 1. I don't think we played anywhere near the best we possibly could. And game 2, we played one half of footy, and we did score more tries, but we just couldn't convert our goals, which hurt us in the end. They've just got to be they're disciplined for starters, where they turn the ball over, whether it's the end of the sets, kick into the corners. We dropped a few errors early on, which invited Queensland down their own end, and then you give away the yardage penalties. Like that was 6 or 7 yardage penalties in the first half. Teams aren't doing that for 80 minutes in the NRL.
Yeah.
And when you got the strike power of what Queensland have got, like they're just going to open you up, at 6s and 7s because they've had so much opportunities down there. But we've shown when we go set for set, and I think this game's going to be ref differently. The first game,
we hope.
I can't believe we won a penalty count up in Queensland. Then game 2, Queensland were near perfect, according to the referee.
Perfect.
But I think we've got everyone wants to see a decider. We've seen it. Queensland more desperate game 2. I reckon the P gets taken out of the whistle this one. And I reckon it's going to be like game 3 last year where it's just end to end. There's big collisions. Whatever was like a 50-50 decision, maybe will it be a penalty, will it not? I don't think we'll see penalties. I think we might see a couple of 6 agains. But I reckon there's going to be a lot more let go in the ruck. The ruck was, I thought, refereed poorly for game 1 and 2. And I think there's going to be so much more free flow. So this is going to be a really exciting Origin game to watch.
It goes to show when New South Wales in that second half of the second game actually, showed a bit of discipline.
Yeah.
We were way more competitive.
I also thought Cleary was a big more threat in that second half. The first half, he felt a little bit tentative with his groin injury, didn't really want to kick, and then he sort of realised, well, we're down by 20 points.
You need to do
I
something.
need to inject myself. And when he did, wow, it was just a completely different side.
And let's be clear, he didn't inject himself at halftime.
Also, yeah.
Inject himself into the game.
Yeah.
Also, I miss Mitch Moses.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought we know Luai can do the job. We know that. I felt like that first kick out on the full was a bit nervous. Hopefully this time it's the Luai that has won those series for us, with Mitch. So
you compare the kicking games. Like Mitch's best asset of his game is long kicks.
Oh,
and that takes pressure off Nath. But then because Nath wasn't kicking, all the pressure's on Jerome. And then he shanks that first one. It's not the greatest touch you want to have, and then he gives away a bit of a penalty for a facial. I think he's just a little bit overexcited, a little bit too keen to get out there. I think they'll be a lot more relaxed. They would have learned a lot about themselves as a team. And that's something that Laurie probably would have showed them throughout the week. We just need to stay calm. We don't need to go outside the box. We just need to stick to what we do and what we know does well.
Well, obviously, Lomax was under a fair bit of heat for his kicking,
it's not his fault.
which, we've spoken about that, brand new balls and stuff like that. But you've also got Latrell and Crichton who can kick as well. Do you think coming into this game 3, if he does start missing them again in the first instance, will Laurie stick or will he give those other guys
I think
an
he'll
opportunity?
stick with Lomax. But for me, I would have had Latrell kicking game 1. I think when you put more ownership on a result on Latrell, it's a better performance we see from him.
Okay.
He loves the bigger the stage, the better he plays, in my opinion. But now, with Lomax, I just stick with him. Cleary's got if Cleary doesn't kick due to his injury or due to the tightness in the groin, then I'm just sticking with Zach. You just got to show faith in him. Look, it was an off night. He comes out. So that was on the Wednesday. On the Sunday when he played for Parramatta, he kicked 6 from 6.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that happen. Some days you got your kicking boots. Some days you just have a shocker. It's part of the game.
Sydney, it's, as I said, a core stadium. It's an interesting one to play out at. It is going to be sold out on Wednesday night. You've played a couple of amazing games there. Is there a favourite moment for you running out there?
I just think every time you run out for the Blues there, people say it means more to Queensland. In my opinion, it doesn't. There's nothing better than, when you used to run out, and as you come out, you feel the fire, from the stuff when you run out.
Yeah, and that sideline tip.
And then the first bit I always love looking at is the Blatchy Blues, because you can just see them. It's like normally you run out, they're on there to your left in the corner. And each year I played, it got bigger and bigger. So that was an amazing. And then when you you run across the field, you're pretty pumped up. And then as you stand side by side with your teammates and you look for your family because they're just behind the dugout, and that's probably one of the greatest moments, just to know that the people you're playing for, your best mates you're playing with. Yeah, it's not particularly just the game, but it's just the moments that happens leading into the game.
From the moment, you arrive with the team, you're in your suits, you get into the change rooms, you sit in your locker for the first time. What does that feel like as a player? Ash and I have never been in that environment.
In that stage, there's nothing like it. I hate wearing suits, so I'm one that just strips down straight in.
I bet you do.
We've seen it. Gartz has been. She was a photographer for us in 2014.
Oh, she's got a secret collection.
She actually got a great photo of me as a kid when I was there, and you what we did back then. Well, I don't know if they do it now because I've been in the game day, but they had a photo of when you were a kid.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Sort all your photos.
And then you look at that moment, you go, geez, I remember I was a kid. That photo, I was watching New South Wales play on a Wednesday night in the Origin. Now I get to be part of it. And like I said before, when you run out, you're representing your family, your mates that you grew up with. And it's the one game where everybody's watching it. Yep. It's the main spectacle of rugby league. There's so much talk about it. When you're playing for the Tigers or the Manly or the Dragons, who I played for, you only got those supporters going for you. You've got the whole state on your back.
Yeah.
That's what's awesome. There's nowhere to hide. If you win, New South Wales people that love it. Queensland get off you. You lose, Queensland people just absolutely ride you. And the decider, there's no second chance. Everything is on the line now, and winner takes all basically. So hopefully it's New South Wales. But I just want a great clash of footy. Just something that we can talk about and say both teams gave it absolutely everything. Not talk about the referee after the game. Just talk about how good. Game 3 last year. That was one of the fastest games I've ever seen. The collisions in that game. I think the first, up the first 10 minutes, you hear that feeling out period. It went for about 65 minutes. It was unbelievable last year.
It's I think on Thursday I want to be talking about the moments, not the refereeing.
Yeah.
I want to be talking about the moments. I can't believe both sides because we're going to get it. We've got Hammer at fullback now, which is really exciting. And hopefully Thursday that we can sit here and go, the moments
good.
were amazing and
Like,
not.
wow, Hammer did this, or you
Yeah.
know, Crichton did this.
Not Ashley
I was
Klein
gonna
did
say,
this.
let's stop talking about Hammer doing anything.
No, well, you got to be fair. Come on, going into the game, anything could happen.
I got to say that because if they do win, I can see it's a told ya.
Yeah. You got to be confident going into it. Well, as we said, we've still got a bit to go, and on Monday we're going to be doing an earlier show just so we can really get into the vibe of the game three.
Sure.
Geez, there was some round 17, some crack. We lit up round 17 with one of the best games of the season. It was grand final-esque, and then boy did we fall. From grace into Manly versus Tigers.
Oh, for sure. I thought like that Dogs Panthers game was finals football. Really, it was really close. I think a couple of decisions, like interchange decisions and things, may have changed the result, but. We can't. It's what's done is done, really. But then we go to Friday and very lackluster.
I'll tell you what, I commentated that Tigers Manly game. Fair dinkum, Anthony Maroon and myself, we were trying to come up with things to talk about while that game was playing. That was a dead set hard watch. But Manly got the chockies in the end, but fair dinkum. It was 0-0 till the 39th minute.
Yeah.
And both sides, it was like every time they got close, they just turned the ball over. They just did not know how to score.
No, it was like, because it was, I feel like someone in the coverage said it, not yourself, Woodsy, someone else in the coverage said it was such an important game for both teams.
It was, mate.
That everyone's too afraid
scared.
to fire a shot.
Yep.
And it showed because I was kind of like it's not like they're going in the middle of the field like at each other. They were going end to end with opportunities for both teams to score. As a Manly diehard tragic, it was so hard to watch. I was so
relieving was it,
nervous.
yeah.
I reckon I lost about 30 kilos in that first half just because of how nervous I was.
Mate, what about the poor Tigers? Like,
Nah,
from that,
stuff 'em.
no. No, but like, they've lost Heath Mason from pushing the referee. Coruscant's got the 11-day stand down. Talon Silva's gone to another club. Jerome Luai's in Origin camp. And Jareem Buller is hamstring injury.
I think it's a whole one big ploy for Benji to put number 6 back on. That's all I feel. He's trying to get back in the side.
Captain coach.
Yeah, he wants to be named. It was that was my low point for the weekend. I know Manly won. That's great. It's good to see us get a win. Like whether it were, would I call it a win? Yeah, just because you get the points. But it was hard to. I felt as soon as Tommy got involved, because they didn't play him out there. As soon as he got involved in that second half. Different team.
He looked dangerous, yeah.
Every time we got the ball, they scored a try pretty much. And it's like, okay, good to see Tommy get that. That was good to see, but it was a shit game of footy.
I knew it was bad when I had Maxi Krilic, a Manly legend, sitting next to me up in the suite, and I went, "This is going to be one of the worst games I've ever watched." And he goes,
"Must be nice."
I was working. I said, "One of the worst games I've ever watched. This is painful." He goes, "One of the worst games I've ever watched."
It was really.
So this is horrible. And he goes, "We're a chance of going to Golden Point at 0-0 at full time at this rate."
Yeah, it was tough. A good moment for me was, watching the Dolphins carve up. I feel like they're just one of those teams that, like, my son loves watching them play because they've been scoring so many points, and they're creative.
Yeah,
it's creative football. There's nothing bland about it. I mean, they lost the other week, but I feel like they could have won that game.
They're like the 05 Tigers. They just throw the ball. There's always an opportunity with them.
Yeah.
Katoa's just a genius.
Oh, for sure. Look, the Sharks continue to disappoint.
But that game, like, I know it was 30-6, but the scoreline doesn't really reflect the game. It was closer than what it was.
I'm just looking at Ash going, "This is his stuff."
How was your man?
Look, I feel like I feel like it was a team effort. They didn't really get across the line. Storm showed, they flexed their muscles and they got the win. And you're right, the scoreline didn't reflect the game.
The Storm had a few blokes that were worried about a game 3 decider.
Yeah,
that's how I saw it.
Yeah, for sure. And what else was a really big high for me to finish off the weekend is that Manly are in front of the Sharks on the ladder.
Yeah.
You really dislike the Sharks, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do. You were a Manly fan growing up as a kid.
But I played for Sharks in Manly.
Well, yeah, this is true.
Well, you're forgiven. You're forgiven. I thought, that was it was good to finish the weekend.
Can I give you a low?
Yeah, go on.
Lukey Metcalf.
Yeah.
For
I was
going to
say that.
mine.
Yeah.
He was leading the Dally M's when it obviously went off grid. But, it's been confirmed it's an ACL.
Rest of the season.
Absolutely shattered for the big fella. He's had sort of a coming of age start of the year. But, I think that really hurts the Warriors now.
Gee, that adds to the injury toll. You've got Luke Metcalf with Mitchie Barnett, obviously went out
he's
with that
the
as well
season
too. Charles
Nichols,
Nicholasad, MCL, and then there was someone else at the start of the with Dallin, because he was a wrist, wasn't he? Alan was wrist.
Yeah.
And James Fisher Harris. Then we've got, who do they then look to Tamari Martin.
Tamari Martin will come in the 5'8", yeah, or half, and then depends. Chanel Harris to Vida. Do they push Tuivasa-Sheck back to fullback or Tane to Peaky?
Well, Tuivasa-Sheck's also still.
They're going to try and rush him back.
So that's a rush back. They're in fourth at the moment. Can they hold on to that now that they've had such crucial injuries in very specific positions?
I would say with how close the comp is this year, no.
You can't.
You can't. If they had a buffer between them and 5, then I'd be like, okay, well, you can afford to drop a game or two and get some people back. But you lose one game now, like
Look at the Sharks. They lost a couple in a row and they're out of the 8.
Then they're like 10th.
Because Brisbane won a couple, Penrith won a couple. They've moved back into the 8 now. So this competition is very, very tight.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's wild when we were talking about the start of the season, Panthers were at the bottom of the ladder. They're in 7th now.
4 weeks ago.
Like,
They'll come and last 4
They're
weeks
flying.
ago.
they're flying. Absolutely killing
Well, look
it at the moment.
a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Brisbane. Like, they're done. We were putting a line through them.
Yeah, also 5th position.
And they're playing like they should be playing with the stack roster they have.
Roosters also in there. So we've got Raiders at the top, Bulldogs in second, Storm, Warriors, Broncos, Roosters, Panthers, Dolphins are your top 8. Manly, Sharks, Dragons, Cowboys sit outside in up to 12. And then Knights, West Tigers, Eels, Rabbitohs, and Titans.
It's good to see the Raiders up there, actually.
Yeah, I'm stoked to
It's good to see
that.
the
I love
Raiders
Ricky.
sitting first.
I'm worrying about the Tigers, guys.
In what they're going to come back from the bottom?
They're going back at a rate and they've just lost.
Can we see a spoon? Nah, they can't be as bad.
Well, the odds have come in.
Oh,
They've come
where's it
down.
sitting?
Yeah, I think they were at like $6 they've come down to.
Wow.
I'll put some money on that.
Titans will fight them for that last spot.
Yeah,
I reckon
spoon bowl.
I reckon Eels as well.
I remember when I was
Well,
at
Moses will be
Titans,
back.
I was there for the spoon
4
bowl
weeks.
between the Eels and the Titans.
I was
And,
commentating.
yeah, we won.
What
No,
about-
you wouldn't have been. You were playing back then
When was that one?
when I was working at the Titans.
Oh,
So that-
no, I remember last year did the Eels and Tigers.
Oh, yes.
One of the funniest things happened. So, obviously, Tigers, they ended up getting smashed. But then the Eels made like a line break. I can't remember who it was. One of their players. So he's running down the sideline. And then you see like 3 wooden spoons just get thrown at him from the crowd. And I was with Joshy Reynolds. Joshy, mate, hold on a second. There's a wooden spoon on there.
That's great. Didn't they do bag searches last year?
Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah.
because of the
It's-
spoons.
Oh, look, at the start of the year, I was like, I don't. I'm good. I'm glad they're not going to get a spoon. But now I'm like, whoa.
I thought they were going to push for the 8 at the start of the year.
Nah.
Well,
They've got the same amount of wins right now as they did all of last season. So they just got to win one more, I reckon, to probably give them.
Well, they play Gold Coast twice. So they've got to get at least one win
yeah.
there.
Gold Coast will turn it on. You watch.
No, surely not.
But imagine that game quality compared. Like if you look
And
at
can I tell
Manly
you one
West
thing?
Tigers, you can.
They played Gold Coast last round.
Spoon bowl.
Oh, yeah.
But then you still got Parramatta, Newcastle around.
I think Parramatta they're starting to come
no
good.
Ponga, no Fletcher Sharp. They reckon for the rest of the year. Yeah.
Oh, all right, maybe
Just-
we put a bet on.
Just give it to all of
Do you
them.
guys want to put a bet on who lands at last up on the ladder?
Let's go, Ash. Go on, you go.
Who wins
Titans.
the spoon?
Titans.
I did tip the Eels at the start of the year.
Well, I'm asking for right now.
Can I give you
Titans.
Can I give you
We
what
can't
I
both be
picked
on
at
the
the start of
same
the
one.
year?
Why not?
Hang on. Sorry, you keep going. I'll give you my prediction.
Well, anyway, let's go to Woods. You back it.
No, here we go. I found it. Oh no, I don't have wooden
No,
spoon on
he
there.
hasn't.
Sorry.
I thought before we go to Would You Back It, you wanted to talk about some of the big positional changes, Ash. Is that still something that you're keen to sort of...
Yeah. So
Alex Johnson obviously takes over
yes,
the fullback
sorry.
position for South.
I was distracted.
Sorry, Dal. Terrell Mitchell obviously out on Origin duties.
Yeah, Alex Johnson. We should have given him a bit more of a rap the other week. He scored he was going for. I mean, he's close to this all-time try.
106.
Yeah, and he scored
206. The record's 212. Can have on.
It was really funny the call team on that day. They were like, "Oh, he's 1 try closer." Then 2 minutes later, he's 4 tries closer. And I was like, "Outstanding!" And he's actually been like a bit of an icon for the game for so long. So good on him. And I want to see him play back there. And he does bring a bit of calmness and maturity. And I mean, it is against Manly, so I hope they don't win, but I hope he has a good game for that one. There was a Dewey back. I thought Tigers actually showed a bit of fight when Dewey was in the halves.
How good did he look when he was in the halves there?
So,
Made a
but
couple of line breaks.
he does that, then he plays half and plays terrible. You know what I mean? Like the next game. It's happened a couple of
I
times.
just don't think he gets his opportunities when he's in half. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's more of a 5'8". Just let him rove. And it was hard because he was playing halfback. Lua was a 5'8". So it's just like...
Yeah, I thought they only looked good when he came on. Like they looked like they could. Okay, well I was like, oh shit,
They're a threat.
yeah. The other one is Taruvard, fullback. What do you make of that?
I think that is probably the last option. They had to go with him there.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
running out.
Heath Mason's out and so is Buller.
Next
Yeah.
is the receptionist, so she's going to be playing fullback.
Coach the great Benjai. Or you got Brett
Yeah.
Hodgson, assistant coach.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
Chris Heinington. Well, he's more of a middle forward.
yeah. I was
they'd
gonna
probably
say
do
that.
better.
Johnny Morris could be the hooker. They got
They've
a good
got so many
mate, they got
former
blokes.
players around
Yeah,
the
they
club.
got blokes that could still run around.
That might be the problem. Too many former players around the club. But yeah, excited to see a couple of different changes. So yeah.
All right, I like that. Well, let's head into which game and why, and then into would you back it. Short around this week, obviously, because we head into Origin. So the first game kicks off on Friday night with the Bulldogs versus Broncos. Woodsy, that is your would you back it. Saturday, we go Raiders versus Dragon. That's Ashes. Then we go Cowboys versus Storm. Who's pulling that one off? Are we going to be seeing the Cowboys?
Who's what?
Who's pulling that one off? Easy,
What? No, it was
easy.
like,
This is
who's winning? I thought you both look at me in silence just then. I'm like,
I'm going to go Cowboys.
This is a family
this
show.
one.
you reckon
I
Cowboys
think
over
Cowboys,
Storm?
they got McLean's back in. They got a couple of guys that have got back in. I just think they tend to get the Panthers and the Storms good times. And look, I know that it was a bludger of a game for them on the weekend, but sometimes you just need that win to get a bit of confidence back. And I think that's going to happen with Manly and with the Cowboys. So I think Cowboys will be just got that monkey off their back, and I think they'll probably chance their arm a little bit more against the Storm this weekend.
Yeah. No, don't agree.
I'm going to go Storm.
Okay.
No particular reason.
No, just to fight Woodsy.
It's a tough game.
It's a tough one for me to pick. Look, yeah, Storm.
All right, Sunday, we kick off with just two games: Roosters versus West Tigers.
Roosters.
I'm wary of James Tedesco against his old club
Oh yeah.
and the form that he's been in. I think now with Metcalf going down, this is going to be a Dally M winner, and I think it's going to be a big
Good
game
call.
for Teddy.
Yeah, I like that.
Big
one.
game for Teddy.
Good call. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Roosters. That's pretty straightforward, I think, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, this year you don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, you're sticking with it. All right, and then Sunday we wrap up the round at Brookvale Oval. It is the Old Boys' Day. It's the Golden Eagles' Day when Manly take on South. Always one for any club to get up for when the Old Boys.
I'm going
are
to go to
watching.
this one.
Yep.
I'm going to take the young fellow because we haven't been able to go because the night games and stuff, and
Oh, of course, yeah.
he's got to go to bed.
Sunday Arvo. At
Sunday
Rocky.
off.
Can't go past Manly there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was at Acor, I'd probably be more leaning to Souths.
Mm-hmm.
No Latrell hurts them massively.
Yep.
Keon will be there, but I just think, I like Cowboys. I think Manly will get a bit of confidence out last week. They looked like they were really, that first half, the shackles were on. They just didn't want to chance their arm. They get that try and half time, and then you started to see the brilliance of, Turbo. I think Turbo will, double up on other sides of the ruck with his other centre, and I think Manly win this.
Yeah, they were great when you see him sort of go over early in the set, and I was like, here we go. And as soon as that happened, I reckon every Manly fan went, yeah, we're on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just changed just the way they played, their shape, the quickness of the ball through the hands, everything just completely changed on the edges.
And
you would
young
say.
Lehigh is going to be better because you got to remember Lehigh. They had a bye. Sorry, he had the
Got knocked
the
out.
knockdown. He missed the next game. They had a bye, so he hasn't had much footy much game under his legs.
But he really missed that whole game as well because he got knocked out in the first
Early
5
on.
minutes.
Oh, of
That's what I'm
course.
saying.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
he's missed 80 minutes. He essentially missed 3 games, call it, because of the buy and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was a bit tentative under the high ball and a couple of misreads in that
They let
first
the ball
half.
Bounced a lot that game.
Yeah.
Catch on full.
Danger.
There was a lot of people
Coach
go. There was a lot of people going. I don't want to. But yeah, Manly should get across there.
You heading out for the Golden Eagles Day? Woodsy?
Yeah, I'll be doing a couple of these in the
Little
crowd.
wave?
Well, I'll be looking for Asher.
Yeah,
Big Ash.
please.
I'll be there.
Hey,
mate.
brother.
Give me a wave up the top too. That's all right.
Oh god, yeah. You're looking down on us as
Is it the wave or
usual.
is it like that?
Yeah, it's things like that.
Is it the wave or the bird?
The old one finger wave.
Well, it's an eagle. It's a bird. So,
It is.
Yeah.
The golden bird.
Yeah, give you the golden eagle.
All right, would you back it? Let's really dive into where you're going to be putting your money where your mouth is. Thanks to PointsBet. Bulldogs versus Broncos, Woodsy.
Ooh, so would you back it this week? My same game multi, and you know what? Thanks to our friends at StatMate, they got Marcelo Montoya. He scored a try in 4 of his last 5 meetings for the Bulldogs. I'm going to go him anytime try scorer.
Yep.
And Josiah Karapani. He's been on fire this season. 3 matches, but he scored 2, 2, and 1. 5 tries in 3 matches. Unbelievable. And that StatMate has got me across the line. I like those. I like that. So I'm going to go Montoya, anytime try scorer, Karapani, anytime try scorer, into Bulldogs head-to-head.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like
very
that.
good.
I don't mind that. Just one try for those guys?
Just anytime try
Okay.
scorer.
Yep.
Just
Okay.
any.
Pushing your luck with me, mate. I will not fall to peer pressure like some people do.
Whoops.
Ash, you're taking on Raiders and Dragons.
I am. Statmate to give me Zach Hoskins scored a try in all of his last 4 matches at GIO Stadium. 1-1-1 and 1, which is great. Simisaki. What's Simisaki? Simi. I can't even pronounce that name. Sasagi.
Sasagi.
I'm terrible with
He's been on
pronunciations.
fire back row.
Yeah, he's been difficult to stop, according to Statmate. 3 tries in his past 4 games. Also, Ethan Strange, 4 tries in his past 3 matches. But I'm going to really throw balls to the wall here, guys. I'm going to go Raiders 13 plus.
Yep.
I'm going to go KO Weeks,
Yes,
anytime try scorer. Man, when he gets going. Holy.
When he just takes off, I remember because he was at Manly.
Yeah.
And we used to do like speed drills, and like there's a couple of quick blokes like Tolu Kola Saab. He'd leave him for dead off the
Off the
start.
mark.
Really?
Yeah.
Very quick off the mark.
Wow.
He
And
snuck,
and it looks like he's not even trying. That's the worst part.
he snuck through a gap. He snuck through a gap over the weekend, and within an instant, he had gained he was gone.
I love
Unbelievable.
He's just the confidence the kid's grown since been working under Ricky Stewart.
Yeah.
How far he went down there as a 5'8" too. Remember.
He had a tough start to the year, dropped a few balls,
Yeah, but
but
you know what?
you're going to have that, right?
And when you got a coach that shows a lot of faith in you, he's repaying the faith.
That's with Ricky. He's the pick and stick
Yep.
king at this point.
Oh yeah.
I've
Raiders 13 plus. KO Weeks anytime.
Timoko, anytime try scorer.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go with Hosking
Zach Hosking.
and Sasagi, anytime try scorer.
Oh,
So
you're on
3, 4.
I'm going for
Yeah,
4.
brother. Yeah.
So Simisagi, you're going
Yeah.
for anytime.
I need to win one.
Mate, this will pay, and 13 plus. This is going to pay.
Yeah,
odds.
keep an eye on this one.
Wow.
I think if there's a round for the Raiders to win comfortably, it's this round at home.
Geez, you wish Papa was there still, don't you?
Oh yeah.
He would have put him in there as well.
I
too.
would have. We got Ricky Stewart anytime try scorer. I think this is the week that they're coming off. They're looking great. If they can continue with that against, I thought the Dragons were still a bit clunky and they could use some work and they could maybe take advantage of that and put some points on.
Yeah, I like that. Next week, I'm going to get you guys to start putting some multis in for the NRLW because that
Yes,
kicks
please.
off on Thursday
How
night.
good is
Thank
I wanted to give you a
goodness.
week just so you could get your feel of how all the teams are sort of, because Bulldogs obviously coming in for the first time this year.
Exciting.
So, which is awesome.
Why don't we get our tips on who's going to win the?
Okay, all
Have you
right.
got the games? Have you got them?
No, like who's going to win the comp?
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
oh,
Ooh, big.
All right.
Well, round 1, just to give you a bit of a recap, Thursday night we kick off. It's the season opener. They've got the grand finalists, the Sharks against the Eels. You've got some great new players in there as well too. The Bulldogs, obviously, they debut. They're the first NRL appearance for those guys. Former alliances face off in the West Tigers versus Bulldogs. That's in round 2. Round 10 is going to be a great one. Friday night showdown, the Roosters versus the Raiders. And then round 11, it's going to be a grand final rematch versus the Roosters and Sharks. There is a huge year of amazing play. There's been a lot of movement across the teams. We've managed to pinch about 20 rugby union players who are going to be
How
coming
good.
in, and all of which are meant to be a massive, huge tacklers, big hits, everything else.
telling
is
you.
playing.
Just on that, so before you go, was just on that bet that I put on, I've got word that it's paying $16.24.
I thought it'd be more than that.
Will we chuck another one in there? You
Yeah, I'm
reckon?
good.
Anytime try to score, it's okay.
Yeah.
My winners for the NRLW are the Broncos,
Okay, Broncos.
led by
you reckon they're
Tamika Upton. She's gone back there.
Well, yeah, all the Newcastle players that allegedly signed for 5 years have all gone to different.
And biggest improvers, the Dragons.
Okay.
Who's received the most union players?
I don't know. I'll have to double check that one. We'll have to get
Warriors.
random stat
Warriors,
guys.
surely.
Yeah,
When I
actually,
used
they're
to,
taking players.
I used to go to Tweed River High, and we used to have a women's union team, and that was the spectacle of the school. We'd all go and watch them play. They were amazing.
Oh, so
and they
good.
were big and they were strong. It was amazing. So I think I'm pumped for NRLW to get going again. I'm going to go with Woodsy as well with Brisbane. I mean, I feel like they're pretty stacked.
Yeah. I mean, Roosters are always pretty stacked as well too, I think.
Yeah, I think they're just the loss. Millie Balls.
Yeah,
having
Millie's
the
going to be a
baby.
big loss, yeah.
Yeah, huge loss. But I love their outside backs, the Roosters. Wow.
Yeah. Well, okay, first game, we'll just do quick tips.
Yep.
Sharks versus Eels, Thursday night.
Eels. I like the Eels this year.
Eels, okay.
Eels.
Broncos versus West Tigers.
Broncos.
Cowboys, Titans.
Titans.
Bulldogs, Knights. Or quick.
Titans, sorry.
Titans.
Jeez,
Bulldogs, Knights.
Sorry.
Oh, Knights have lost a few. I think maybe Bulldogs in their first ever game.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, hopefully. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go that too.
Raiders versus Dragons.
Dragons.
Raiders.
Raiders. The Ruben Wickie's daughter is playing for the Raiders. She's a brilliant player. And then we wrap up with Roosters versus Warriors.
I know it's the Warriors first. I just think Roosters.
Roosters.
Class.
I love seeing the Warriors back in the competition.
Yeah.
They were obviously with us
So
to start
good.
before the COVID bubble.
Yeah, COVID stuffed up a lot of things.
So how many teams we got now? They got now? 12.
12.
12, yep,
Yeah.
12. They're
And it's-
slowly going to build to get to the same as the NRL.
Because Manly's got a team that's
Harvey Norman.
Harvey
I think it is.
Norman.
Yeah, they had a team. They looked like they were going to be going into it, but they removed
I think they
it.
applied for the thing, but
Yes.
they didn't get there.
Yeah. And South is still
South, yeah.
chewing at the bit to get in there as
Yep.
well.
Cool.
So, huge.
exciting stuff.
All right. Well, at least we got footy on Thursday night then.
Oh, yes.
See, it's happening.
We do.
Thank you very much for joining us, gents. Another big round. Good luck with your $16.24, was it?
Yep, I'm going to put the house on it, so she's going to be happy.
What's left of the house? after
Gamble
the
responsibly,
storm.
of
Yeah.
course.
Good luck with the call as well too over the weekend.
Thank you very much.
And I know you're heading off after survey, so get some break next week.
Oh, yeah.
No more.
Got
more
an
waking
origin.
up
Got an
early.
origin to call first.
Exactly. We love it. We'll see you back next week. We're an early fire off on Monday so we can get ready for the game. Don't forget to make sure you head across to our socials. We have 2 Origin tickets available thanks to PointsBet to the sold out Game 3 Origin at Accor Stadium on Wednesday night. Let us know who's your greatest Origin moment. What is your greatest Origin moment, I should say. And then you're in your chance to win 2 tickets. That's right, 2.
Wow.
See you next week.
See ya.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.